What's going on, everybody? Welcome to GmiasWorld, and today we're going to be doing a special Q&A about Madden 20. Now, I have no inside information into it, and these are all my opinions. Although they may come off as something that can actually happen, I have no idea if I'm correct or not. I'm just going based on the last 4 years of what we've been able to get out of Madden 19, 18, 17, and 16, and what we have to look forward to in Madden 20. So what you can do right now is you can go over to Twitter at GmiasWorld. Follow me right now under the same thread that I presented to, for you guys to ask me questions. Also, Instagram and Facebook. You guys can ask your questions, and I'm going to go through it, but I'm only going to be using it right now for Twitter. We will expand it later depending on how this video does. If you guys share it, we get a lot of views with it, and I know you guys want more interesting things answered, we will go through it. And that's how we'll get through it today. All right, so look, we're going to be starting off right now at the top of where we are. So let's go right to the top of Twitter, and I'm going to click on the actual comment that I asked. Wow, you guys are coming in heavy already. All right, so here we go. The first question, all right, do you think coaching adjustments should be removed in Madden 20? That comes from Andrew. All right, should coaching adjustments be removed? For those of you guys that know about coaching adjustments, it's pretty much a thing that lets your opponent get away with doing wild and savage things. What do I mean by that? In certain games, you can come out and run on aggressive the entire game and nothing will happen. You'll never get called for holding. Nothing bad will happen. And you will be able to maul the defensive side of the ball by running on aggressive the entire time, by making, your offensive line, block on aggressive and things like that. And there's really no counter to it. Also, effectively on the other side, you can come out in defenses like 3-3-5 normal and rush 3 people, and they are acting like you have a T-bone steak wrapped around your butt cheeks, and they come in and sack you instantly with 8-man in coverage. I don't think it adds much benefit to the game, and I'm going to tell you why, especially in Madden Ultimate Team, because the attributes and what the player traits are should represent everything about it. If you want to, have just the coaching adjustments, so like, your best cornerback matches up against the best wide receiver, that's all fine. If you want to have it to flip the play automatically, that's also fine. But I don't think all the aggressive stuff, because they don't really know how to manage it right, and you can really abuse it too. It's something that's been getting abused for the last couple of years. And I don't think that it's very smart to continue to have it in the game because it doesn't make any sense, in my opinion. But like I said, having it be able to, match the corner on the best guy, stuff like that, watch the quarterback in different instances, I think what probably would be a little bit better is if they just had it in a way like how, you can, watch the quarterback. In case of read options, you press the L2 button, you can see that. I think they should make us do it ourselves through that instead of having the coaching adjustments. So in my humble opinion, I think that all of this stuff right here is useless, because how many of you guys put play ball in the air on play ball and your guys still swat it? It doesn't work. Play receiver, that's a joke. Swat ball, they'll pick it. Like, all of this stuff doesn't really make any sense. This right here, I understand, by overall and things of that. I understand that, but I think you should be able to do that from your general screen when you go into the actual game. Like, just press L2 and just have it like best cornerback, whatever, and then the guy can shift or whatever. I think you can set it from that instead of having it where it's like this. Because like even with the option defense, you can do that by yourself also manually. So it doesn't really matter. I don't know why that's there also. Strip ball, it should go by their trait. If they have a trait of strip ball, make the Madden 19 Ultimate Team cards work for Madden 19 Ultimate Team. You see what I'm saying? If their tackling is crazy, if you got a Ray Lewis card and his tackling is like on OP, it should be on OP. They shouldn't be able to do this and manipulate the game, because it kind of changes the way that you could take advantage of it, and also you could really cheat it. I've played one game where I left it on pass rush aggressive the whole game, sent 3, and had like 19 sacks. And I've done it live on stream. The guy was, fake, he was fake hiking out, and I would never go off sides because I was being an idiot and I was running the 3-3-5 defense. So those type of things, in my opinion, I don't know if those things should be in it. I can understand if some of it is in it, but I would remove the pass rush and also the aggressive blocking in those situations. So that was a great question by Andrew. Next question. Do you think people will still do crossing routes every play and call themselves good? That's a very good question. As you guys know, crossing routes is pretty much the way that everything rocks out in Madden 19. If you come out and you have no thumbs, no eyeballs, and just don't know what's going on in general life, you can be a Madden pro. All right, simply go out, get the deep route chemistry on your wide receivers, and run deep crossers. all the corners will always come down after a certain amount of time, and your players will be wide open. And, ultimately, does it turn me on? Yes. So I don't think that EA is going to have it like that. I think they will probably at least fix that so that the corners stay where they're supposed to. Because remember, up until 19, we never had an issue with it. The corners, as long as the corners were staying where they're supposed to stay, we never had no issues with it. Just think back to all the Maddens. We've never had an issue with it. So for us to have issues with it right now seems pretty odd. So I don't think that they will be doing that and, call themselves pros as well. All right, here we go. Are the speed rating really going to represent real speed? That is an excellent question. That comes from Ming Nguyen. All right. The speed thing has really been a dilemma for me because ultimately I think that they adjust the thresholds of speed every game. I really think that they manipulate the way that the speed is. So I don't know if they're going to actually fix that or if they're happy with the way that it actually goes on right now. That's a very interesting question. But to be honest with you, the last time prior to 15 and going back that I saw real speed was in 16 at the beginning of the year until they did their first patch. If you can go back and take off all of the patches and just play that game without the patch, that was true speed in Madden 16 prior to every patch that they put out after that. And I would love to see that at least once again in Madden. You know what I'm saying? Because right now it's just an absolute joke, in my opinion. So I don't know if they'll fix it, but I would love for them to fix it. What new updated MUT cards do you look forward to the most in Madden 20? That's a very good question. That comes from Mike Antonio, at Mr. Mike Antonio on Twitter. I really want a Harold Carmichael. I love that 6'8". I love the speed. I really kind of just want Randy Moss, Harold Carmichael, and Calvin Johnson, to be honest. Because I want the height to really matter. I don't have to... Look, you don't have to have the swerve in the game, but I don't like when I throw the ball to a player and a guy that's behind him picks it off when he jumps up in the air high with the one-hand animation. So I just want dynamic players. A Charles Woodson wouldn't hurt. Give people variety. A Palomalu, I've been saying that for the last 2 years. I don't know what the situation is with that, but I just want to see his hair fly around. I don't even care what he does. Like even right now, with the zones not working, I would still literally spend money, even though I'm no money spent for the last 3 months, to get Palomalu. Just so his hair could be dangling around in the air as he smashes you and hit sticks you and you never fumble. I would do that. All right? So I would look forward to taller, bigger, faster players and the actual height. The height actually matter. Like if EA Sports was like Madden 15. Let's go back to Madden 15, right? Madden 15 was the year of what they were calling it, the user catch, face catch, whatever they were calling it, right? That was realism at its finest, though. Because big body receivers, if you guys noticed, like a lot of the guys that were playing at that time, they would come out with like tight ends, put them on streaks, and be able to take advantage of the smaller corners. That was actually real. Like if you guys have ever played football, you know what I'm saying, and you've been on a team with really good like wide receivers that were tall and stuff like that, most of the time, go back to like Culpepper in the NFL. Culpepper was a horrific quarterback, but he had Randy Moss to throw it up to. We see how that worked out. One person went to the Hall of Fame. One person is never going. So we already know what that's going on. So Randy Moss is in there. Culpepper is not going to sniff it. That guy sucks. But that's not what this is about. This is not for me to bash, Dante Culpepper. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is about Madden 20. What I'm going to say is this, though, right? Madden 15 was unique that in the fact that a lot of people were frustrated because you were getting mossed regularly, you were also able to use your defender and come down in front and pick the ball. It was stick versus stick. Sometimes you got a glitchy catch, and it was like, all right, whatever. But it wasn't as infuriating as Madden 19 and 18 was because they took away the realism of the depth perception. If a guy is 6'8", and a dude that's Barry Sanders' height is defending him, and you throw the ball high, that's realistic that player should be able to come down with that ball. I had no issue with that. Again, the play-action reach-around play was something that made the game crazy, but they didn't really need to have... They didn't have to go and turn the game into what Madden 16 became. Because 15, if you toned down certain things, it would have been they could have just revamped the game and put it back out, and it would have been fine. Because you had full user control. Even though Drew Brees was running around like Michael Vick, if you ran play action reach around and he could run for like 90 yards, you could easily play certain defenses and lock it up, but it was frustrating because everybody was so fast and it just seemed unrealistic. But they were on the right track as far as depth perception and how bigger receivers should interact. So those are the things that I really look forward to. All right. Next one is coming from Donnell Mays. Should Madden sit out a year, restructure the game from scratch, and be up and rolling in 2021? That is an excellent question. Because the one thing that I look at, right, if any of you guys have played God of War, the most recent God of War for PS4, I know a lot of people that were like diehard Xbox fans that bought a PS4 just for the game, and they don't regret it. I love that game. That was one of the best games ever. And you know why that game was so good? They were able to do their work in a certain time frame to where, you know, I don't believe there was a lot of crunching in that game. I don't think that that was something that affected it. I think they were able to meet all their deadlines and everybody worked in unison. It was the game of the year. They were able to do a lot of things like that. There is a lot of pressure on these Madden developers to every year put out another game. I don't know if I would want to sit out with this game, though. You know, like if they left us with Madden 25, yeah, give us updated rosters and take another year off and do what you got to do. But this game is so horrific. I think that this game needs to be, you know, destroyed, like properly, like taken out back and just like smashed into 1,000 pieces. Take the router that it's on, take all the backup disks, everything, and just burn it. That's how I feel about this game. So I don't know if they would take a year off and update the rosters and stuff like that, and then bring it back in 2021 because this game is so poorly made. And again, when I'm saying poorly made, I'm saying that based on the interactions of how the players play and the gameplay itself. The MUT content is really, really good, but the way the game plays is not good at all. The wide receiver to cornerback interactions, the way that you get a speed burst as a defensive player, you can't really burn anyone. A lot of the things in the game has really, really hampered the potential of what the game could be on a realistic level. And keep in mind, I know that they have to make their money, but that's why arcade mode is there. I just don't believe that you should have a competitive mode, arcade mode, and then make them both be the same thing in different cases. It doesn't make any sense. Why are you separating them? Just say that the game is all arcade and everybody's happy. But that's not what they're doing. They're making it seem like you can't do certain things because it's competitive, but you're actually doing it a lot more than even in arcade. So those are some of the issues that I have with it. So I wouldn't recommend that they take any time off right now. Dance Prince, will zones be fixed for Madden 20? No, and I'm not going into depth with that. You know what, bro? I am going to go into a little bit of depth with that. I don't think zones are going to be fixed simply because, like, they have so many of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you remember like when Madden didn't have all this other stuff, soft squats? We just had our basic zones. And I know that they talk with a lot of NFL players and coaches and coordinators, and they give them all these ideas. But making it happen in the game is very, very difficult. And I don't know if they're actually learning from their mistakes or if they're going to continue to do it. But I'm very, very nervous about the fact that they are, in fact, you know, continuing to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like with all these zones, and it's just so many things. And that's probably primarily the reasoning behind why a lot of the stuff doesn't work in all actuality, because there's so many of them. Like they have to be able to make sure all of them do what they're specifically supposed to do. And I think it becomes very difficult. So I don't think that the zones will be fixed in Madden 20. If it is, I'll be very, very surprised. In Madden, okay, Philly Murr, Swaggy Smalls. Is Madden 20 going to be rated E or rated R? To be honest, I think it should be rated mature, because this game, the things that it does to you, like I don't know if it's legal in any of the states in the United States, and I don't know what countries you may be from that you're watching. But shout out to all you guys that are abroad. I don't know if this game should be allowed for everyone, because the things that go on in it is so absolutely abhorrent and ridiculous that I think it should not be allowed to go on. But again, it's not for me to decide that. I think it would be rated E. I would probably have it along the Mortal Kombat rating, just because of the stuff that goes on in the game and the rage that ensues from it. I would think that they should probably have a different rating for it. So that was a good question. That actually happens, what you just saw right there, in regular competitive mode as well. All right, next question. Travis Knoll. Will bad timing drop pick be in Madden 20? Yeah, it will. Bad timing drop pick? Yeah, it will be. You know why? Because they don't care. That's why. You ever see that Dave Chappelle skit? Because I don't give a beep. That's why. Like, that's why. Because I don't understand why they're worried about that. And you could do what, bro, dudes are throwing the ball in the quintuplet coverage and they're worried about bad time and drop picks. So I think that their priorities aren't really straight. So more than likely, that will probably be in the game. Hugh Tobin, will there be major changes to power-ups? I think they're going to have a different outline with it. And like I said, going back to the MUT content, you know, Jake Stein and them boys, they really put in work. I respect the way that the effort that they put in, all the things that go into it. They're very, very aware of a lot of things within the community. They answer a lot of community questions very, very soon. Like as soon as you get something that's going on with the game, Crayola, these guys are very, very good with that. I love the MUT content. S. Gibbs and these guys, they do a great job. Farrells, shout out to those guys. But when it comes down to the fact of the rookie premieres, I think they made a huge error for this year with it, and I think they're going to fix it next year. Because not allowing us to do those, you know, upgrade them, I think that was just something that they overlooked. Maybe they didn't think that it would take off the way that it is, the way that it was, and people wouldn't be, you know, as excited for power-ups as they were this year. Because remember, in 18, you couldn't do nothing with it. It just became that. This year, giving everybody the opportunity to, you know, downgrade them and stuff like that, that really is part of the reason why it took off like that. In all honesty, like, it was such a breath of fresh air. Charging us 20,000 coins to take away a card, though, is pretty bad. But I do think that there will be major changes to power-ups as far as what chems you can put on them, if there even will be chems, and, you know, just the general aspect of the refund policy of adding, like, the secondary chems like Sprinter and stuff, not being able to get a refund. I think that those will be some of the upgrades that they'll be looking at. Swaggy Smalls again, will Madden 20 be Madden 18 3.0? Again, I don't know exactly what they're looking to do. I don't know exactly if they're going to keep this same, you know, all these animations and the slide and stuff. You know, the predetermined animations and just the general animations of the rat catch where you're right all over the player and he catches it and, you know, he's still running and stuff. I think animations has truly destroyed the game. Going back to Madden 15 again, that was one of the best Maddens, primarily because you controlled every single thing that happened. And if we're going to have a remote and not be machines, I think that that should continue to happen. And I think that the way that they've done it now is the reasoning behind why so many veteran players that's been playing Madden for so long has not played or has not exceeded the level that they, you know, that they usually exceed, because the game has become so bad with the way that the animations are. So Madden 18 3.0, I don't know. I want to see something different, but I can't really guarantee that. All right. Will rookie premieres get red chem starting out? That I just spoke about. That comes from Marco. I would like to see you have eligibility for that, like I just brought up. I think that that's one of the things that they dropped the ball on. Not making it something that we would be able to do is very, very bad, in my opinion, with the rookie premieres. So I do think that from the jump, you're not going to be able to get the red chems if it's the same way, because you got to be a 90 overall or something to be able to unlock those things. But the ability to be able to do those things and be able to upgrade it, add it to a power-up, and things of that nature, I think will make the game a lot better and make the rookie premieres worth it. Okay? Depressed Thunder fan, who will be the cover athlete for Madden 20? That's a very good question. They could legitimately make it Tom Brady again. The dude's like 50 winning Super Bowls. You know, like, I know it's another Patriot, whatever, but I can't really think of anybody else to put on there that's like really like, you know, like studying it, you know, straight stud. Maybe Aaron Donald if you want to go defense, because he was such a dominant defensive player. But I got no problem with seeing Tom Brady again. You know what I'm saying, bro? Because, yo, when you're 97 years old, sunning these idiots on the field and doing whatever you want, could barely move, bro, you know what I'm saying, dog? Yo, I got to give credit where it's due. The dude is like, he's unbelievable. So I don't know. That's going to be tough. I would go Tom Brady or Aaron Donald. Will zone coverages still be broken? That comes from Jeriz. We already spoke about the zone coverages. Do you think they should bring back online play to where you can choose who you want to play? That's very, very interesting, because I think they do that with Play a Friend. I don't think that you should be able to choose like who specifically you play in a ranked game, because that'll create a lot of cheating. So one thing that I would want to see is that they can make matchmaking better, because a lot of my viewers have an issue with, you know, always being matched up against a 99 overall team. I would like to see that. But as far as what you're asking about being able to play players that, you know, that you want to play, they already have the Play a Friend modes. So I don't see why they would make it so that you would get ranked points from playing a friend, because obviously you guys can determine who wins. So that wouldn't be fair to the leaderboards or anything. So I would go that route with that. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, or if that's not what you're exactly asking with the online play, to where you can choose who you want to play, because that's already in the game. Peyton, are you still going to be playing with your TV off in Madden 20? Bro, okay, this is Peyton Stage. Bro, or are you that bad? That's a good question. I'm that bad, Peyton. I'm that bad. Pretty much I suck at Madden. I'm just able to beat a lot of people in the game because I just do whatever I want. So that's a really good question. A lot of the people that I do play, though, they actually play with their TV off and like they're probably doing sit-ups with their knees wrapped as if they're going to do squats at the squat machine in the gym. Most of them are playing on Taco Bell Wi-Fi, and they're at McDonald's. I play a lot of weird dudes, and there are a lot of weird dudes that choose to play Madden because they know the state that it's in right now, that would never ever be playing the game if it was a much better game gameplay wise. So that's a really good question. I know he's trolling and everything like that, but it's a really good question. Uncle Lou, do you think your campaign character will be playable in MUT? Your campaign character? What do you mean you can't? See, that's a very interesting question, because I know the campaign players, like, are you talking about like because with the campaign that you're talking about, that was earlier in the year when we first started off, like Big Ben Roethlisberger and those cards, they were playable. I don't know if you're talking about other players, but the campaign was like a different type of solo situation. But again, EA Sports has done a good job with bringing players from Long Shot and all that stuff into MUT. So I think everybody should be playable in 20 with no issues. If there is something else that you want to, to clarify it, you can leave a comment on the video and I can go more in depth with it for you, Uncle Lou. But as far as like players being put into the game, I think EA has done a good job with that. They absolutely have made the game so that they've been adding more and more players into it. I would like to see players like, Leon Sandcastle back, the old school Dion back, back in the day. I would like to see that. I would like to see players with over 100 speed, over 100 acceleration, like Madden 15, Bo Jackson. Those are the things I would like to see. I don't know if I will get it, but that's something that I would want to see. But I think they've done a good job with implementing certain things into the game and allowing people to have more freedom in playing with players that they actually want to play with. So at this point right now, that's the end of the questions that are there. I'm currently seeing it being retweeted. I know that you guys that watch the video will probably go back and retweet it as well and ask questions. And I'm very, very thankful for that. As you guys bring them in, we will try to do this, maybe a couple times a week, try to answer some of your questions to the best of my ability. Again, I'm going off the top of my head with just insight into being a guy that's been playing Madden since Sega Genesis. And I've been playing it the last 4 years, even though I think that it's been some of the worst years of Madden. And like I said, feel free to leave your comments. The solo that I'm doing right now, make sure you get it done, because I think you have one more week to get the free card. So we're going to get another power-up right now, and then the token that you get for the Ultimate Legend, make sure you guys are paying attention to that and you get what you need, because I want all of my viewers to be able to get that free card, whatever it may be. All right? So definitely keep those questions coming. Twitter at GmiasWorld, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Follow me there. Subscribe here. Check out some of the playlists. Check out GmiasWorld Gaming and GmiasWorld Podcast, also available here on YouTube. Enjoy your day. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. But before I say one love, I just want to show you, this is the pack that you're going to need to get that token, and then you have one more week, and then we'll be done with that, and you'll get a free player. Take care, guys. One love.